We started the Gavaldige Sugya of the halachos of Tzedoko and Maaser Ksofim in regards to how it's negayah to the business world. Now again, a disclaimer, I think we mentioned this yesterday, but just to make sure that this is clear, it is impossible for us to be able to go through every single intricate shaila that is negayah in a business world. Many times shailas are very complicated and have a lot of details to them that we're not getting into. What we're trying to do is just get the basic idea of when, what, and where. That's the basic idea. Yesterday, our Hagdoma was pretty much an idea of the chashivas of tzedakah, what it means to give Maaser, how chashuv it is, how a person should feel, you're not losing out, v'chole, v'chole. Let's move on to a couple of details. Be'ez Hashem. Yesterday, actually, we ended with the sugya of it is a daraisa, durabanan, or a minig, and of course, how chashuv it is. Now we move on to the shaila of does a person have to make an exact calculation? Now this is a very, very complicated question because if you have a business and you've got money coming in. So of course, if you have an accountant, it's much easier because the accountant can work out exactly what the increase, what the profits were this year minus the taxes and whatever it may be. So then it's much easier. But if you don't have an accountant who's doing all of that for you, it is often a shaila. Do I have to make an exact cheshbon of what Maaser? We're not discussing tzedakah. Tzedakah person is always chayiv. We're talking about the union of Maaser, of giving 10%, or of course those that want to give chomesh even better avada. But of course, Maaser is the baininess. That's the medium. That's the average of what people give, and that's the minig what everybody does. Do I have to make an exact cheshbon, or can I give be'erach? Like I can work out like be'erach how much money I made, and therefore I can give a cheshbon in that way. So if you look at the Chavisor is a beautiful tshuva. The Noda B'Yehuda also, by the way, passes this way in the Chofetz Chaim, Sefer Avos Chesed, also passes this way. He says very clearly, all three poskim say that it has to be an exact cheshbon. You should sit down, whatever it is. There's a shayla in the Chofetz Chaim. There should be once a year, twice a year, whatever it is, and make a cheshbon. How much am I holding by? How much profit have I made? How much Maaser do I have to give? It can't be a be'erach the cheshbon. Yeah, be'erach will give that. Now, of course, if you give be'erach, obviously, err on the side of caution and give a bit more. But I'll go upon him, the poskim say, when it comes to Maaser, it's not something that you do be'erach. It something has to be an exact cheshbon in that case. Now, Agav, there's an interesting shaila whether a person should have a specific place that he leaves his Maaser. Does it have to be like in an envelope, in a box, in a separate account, whatever it may be? And what happens, for example, if a person, the Shlach Kodesh, by the way, says that. The Shlach Kodesh says a person should have a box specifically for Maaser, so that if somebody comes to him and says, I need money, he's going to have available funds to be able to give him. But I'll upon him, what about, what can Maaser be used for? What am I allowed to be using Maaser money for? Now again, all of these shaylas require a lot of detail, but just to give you the basic idea in this case. The Rambam says, and if you look at the Medrash Tanchuma, in fact in Parshas Re'eh, the Medrash Tanchuma brings down that the Ikar Maaser is meant to be giving to those people that are steiging in Torah. That is the Ikar Maaser money. That is why Rav Sheinberg Zatzal Rosh Yeshiva was always makpid that you give Maaser money to yeshivas, to koilos, things like that, to people who are sitting and learning. That is the Ikar Maaser, as I state the Medrash Tanchuma in Parshas Re'eh. However, if you look at the Maril, which is brought down in the Ramah in Yeridei Siman Reish Mem Tes, that the Ramah says the same thing as well. That's where Maaser lichatchila should be given to. However, the Maram, which is brought down in the Shach and others, held that you can use it for any mitzvah, right? Which is always the shaila. Can I buy an aliyah, for example, with Maaser money? There's a famous Rebbe Kiva Eiger in Yeridei Siman Reish Mem Tes about whether you're allowed to use Maaser money for aliyahs. So we paskin halacha the Maaser that there is toivas hana. That means a person is allowed to get some kind of benefit from the Maaser that he has. So, for example, buying aliyahs people always say you can use Maaser money. Where does that come from? It comes from the Shach Be'etzem, that you're allowed to get toivas hana, which means I'm allowed. What Kiva Eiger says only if you have das kavana beforehand can you when you're bidding the aliyah. You have kavana that I'm going to use Maaser money, and then yes, you're allowed to use Maaser money for that case. And the same is true for many of the things that they make, the programs where they make events for charity and Chinese auctions and all of these things. You could generally use Maaser money for those things in that case. That's a shaila. What happens if a person buys a raffle ticket with Maaser money and then he wins the raffle money? He wins whatever it is, $1,000, he wins the car, whatever it is. Should he give that money that he used on the ticket back from regular money, seek you to pay it back? That's a shayla in the poskim. But upon him, you are allowed to use Maaser money for a lot of these things because you are allowed to get toivas hana. when it comes to that. By the way, just agav, when it comes to buying aliyahs and bidding for aliyahs, the Olim knows the Heilige Marshal, right? The Yamshah Shlomo brings down that the Shulchan Aruch Harav, by the way, also goes with this Halacha. It's very interesting. Magen Avraham bets him also that when a person bids for an aliyah, even if he doesn't get the aliyah, he has to give that amount to Tzedoko. For some reason, they haven't put that up in the shuls because they're scared that no one's going to bid for aliyahs if they put that up. But that's the Metzias. As I pass on Maaser, look at Shulchan Aruch Harav, Magen Avraham, v'chulei, that if a person bids, I'm bidding $20 for aliyah. Somebody bid 30, okay, I don't get it. Yeah, but you just made a neder, ki'ilu, to a tzedakah, to a shul, whatever it may be. You have to pay that, even if you didn't get the aliyah. Right? We don't pass in that way. Most poskim do not go with that way. So you can continue bidding for aliyahs, and then you are okay. Moving on, Rabbi Isai. How does it work with profit? How does it work? I made money. How did I make money? I had a car washing machine on Erev Pesach. Okay? That's what I did. Very, very common yeshiva shegavaldiga business for a good yeshiva bacha that wants to sit and steig the whole zman, and he wants to be able to be busy, make a bissel geld on the side, right? So what do you do when it comes to the Maaser money, right? What do you do? I had to buy machinery, to buy the sprays, the jets, I don't know, all the cleaning materials, whatever it was that I had to buy. So now at the end of the business manim time, I made $1,000, but I had to spend $100 or whatever it was on buying materials. So what's the case over here? So the Shulchan Aruch says, there's the beginning of Siman Reish Mem Tes. The Shulchan Aruch says when a person gets money, the first year he takes money, Maaser money from the keren, and every year after that he only takes from the revach, from the profit that he makes from investing that keren, that initial money that he got, is what he takes Maaser money afterwards. So the poskim all learn from this Shulchan Aruch. What we learn is that a person is allowed to deduct any expense that was crucial to be able to make the money. So for example, let's say a person has a car, and he goes to work every single day by car. He doesn't need to. He could go by train. He could go by bus. He could even walk. He happens to like going by car, whatever it is. Can he take the car tax or insurance off? So some poskim do allow that. A lot of poskim will say no, because that's not a crucial way of making money. But in order to have a car washing business, I need to have the materials, or I can't wash the car. So I have to spend $100 on buying the jets and the materials and the soap and whatever in order to make the money. So I can immediately take off the $100 before I can even work out my Maaser money. Because that is crucial to be able to make the money. Person has a store and he has to pay rent on the store, he has to pay workers, electricity, whatever his tax, whatever he has to pay. So at the end of the month, at the end of the year, when he's got his profit that he made from that store, he will now deduct the expenses that are directly related to making the money. In other words, without those expenses, he would never have been able to make a profit to begin with. Then you can start calculating the Maaser. Now, to be honest, and this is a private shayla that people should ask themselves to their local Orthodox rabbi, and that is, there are those poskim that are matter certain situations to also include even more expenses. For example, Shlomo Zalman talks about in the tshuva, if a person buys a nice suit for his, for his business, for his work, for whatever he's doing sales, he's speaking to people, needs to have a nice suit, maybe he can take that off also. It's not crucial for making money, but it's an addition. So again, there are those that say, yeah, in different situations. And what about, for example, this is a common shayla. A woman wants to go to work, and in order to go to work, she needs to have someone looking after the kids. Lunchtime, the kids come back, who's looking after the kids? So she has to hire someone, a babysitter, to come into the home to look after the kids so that she can go to work. Can that be taken off the expenses of her profit before calculating Maaser? And the answer is yes, because otherwise she wouldn't be able to be in work, right, Moshe Muskim? Otherwise she wouldn't be able to be in work. She'd have to come back early. That would stop her from making the profit, and therefore, in that case, that would be okay. So the general idea is anything that is directly connected to that will be included in that. And remember, Tosfos told us yesterday, we mentioned Tosfos, which is better than the Lashon of the Rabbeinu Yonah also, and others, that any profit is included. Any profit that a person makes, when it's, by the way, it's not only a business thing, it could be a Yerusha. It could be a present. Rabbi Shlomo Zalman says even on a present that's a matana, like a watch, person has to give Maaser. Okay, most poskim hold not that way because it's not money. With the exclusion of if a person receives something to buy something, right? This is a common shayla. Guys will ask, after they get married, they have a baby, and the shviga wants to buy them a new stroller, a buggy. What's the din? They give me $100 to buy a new stroller. Do I have to take Maaser money from that $100 or not? Right? Common shayla. And the answer is no. Why? Because really they want to give you a stroller and want to give you a buggy. However, They don't know, they don't know which one you want, they don't know which color, which style, this, that, and the other. I don't know, I'm not holding with all the latest styles of all the bugaboos or whatever it's called that you have to get nowadays, depending on which area that you live in. It's a big enough Gemina. What's that? Duna? Okay, fine. The Dunas. So at the end of the day, they want to buy it for me, but they're not going to buy it for me in England, in America, whatever, and send it in. So they give me the money in order to buy it over here. When something is given specifically for something to buy it, or let's say your parents give you money, here, take money and buy yourself a ticket to go back to Chutz La'aretz, whatever it may be. So you don't take Maaser from that, because that's not something that's used to be spent whatever you have. Whereas if you have money that can be used for anything and they give it to you, then in Achanami that would be Chayiv Maaser, with the exception of certain cases of Yeshiva Bochum Avrechim sometimes have a Begeder Aniyim, which could be that they're potter in certain situations, but that doesn't mean they're potter from tzedakah. They could be potter from this. You have to always remember, tzedakah is a Chayiv Gomo in that case. Chesky is a good kasha. If a person gets money daf bal peh, avada, right? Which yeshiva? He gets money for learning daf bal peh, so avada, he has to give Maaser. What's the shaila? He got a profit from that. He should give Maaser in that case. Okay, Rabbi said that the shailas are huge. The shailas go on and on and on. But the basic idea of what we're trying to do over here is a person has to realize when you get a profit, when you get something, make the Rabbeinu Shalom a 10% partner in your business. Because when the Rabbeinu Shalom is a 10% partner in your business, you're guaranteed to be a holder of the 90%. The Rambam writes that it's a chiyuv for a person to be more careful in the mitzvah of tzedakah more than any other mitzvah asay, as I state in the Rambam. That is a very, very heavy statement. Gemara in Baba Basra, Daf Tesam at base. Gedoyle tzedakah yosim ikola korbanos. Korbanos is unbelievable. We say it in the morning. We daven in b'mokum korban. Everything that we do, b'mokum korban. Halavai we have a Beis Hamikdash. Beis Hashem later today was going to be zoicha to dance by the Beis Hamikdash Shlishi. Beis Hashem are going to be zoicha. But until then, we don't have karbonis. But the Gemara tells us that tzedakah is greater than all of the karbonis in that case. V'zoicha lebonim tamidei chachomim. Rabbi said that is unbelievable in that case. Rav Sheinberg Zatzal always used to quote the Medrash in Shir Hashirim Perek Hey, that a Pesach, she'ena pesuach l'tzedakah, a door that's not open to tzedakah, pesuach l'roifa, is automatically open to the doctor. As I state in the Medrash in Shir Hashirim Perek Hey, Rav Sheinberg always used to be makbid on that in that case. A person has to realize that giving tzedakah is an opportunity. You're not taking from your money. You're not losing in any way, shape, or form. There's a Mordechai Gemara also, Baba Basra Daf Yudam Aleph, where the Gemara in Baba Basra tells us, Rabbi Shua ben Korcha Oimer, that if a person looks away from tzedakah, you know how it is. Sometimes you're walking down the street or you're in shul, and okay, shul is a different shaila. Whether or not you're chayav to give in the middle of sukkah de zimra, that's a shaila oisik b'mitzvah potam and a mitzvah. That could be a different sugya. But I'm talking about a case where a person's not oisik b'mitzvah, and he sees a poor guy and he's walking down the street and he's like, I don't want to look, so I'm gonna be conveniently on my phone at that time when I walk past the poor guy. This way I don't have to give him, right? So the Gemara says, we're talking about when you have money, whatever. The Gemara says, when a person looks away from giving tzedakah, it's ki'ilu oved avodah zarah. Whoa! Ki'ilu oved avodah zarah. Beseda, maybe I wasn't yotza mitzvah. Maybe it was a mavatal na'aseh, all right? But ki'ilu oved avodah zarah, what does that mean? So Rabbi Chanan has a beautiful idea. What in Kovet Shiurim Nun Aleph, where Rabbi Chanan writes like this. Rabbi Chanan explains Pshat in the Gemara in Baba Basra that a person who serves Avodah Zarah believes in some way that some lifeless statue can help him, or can save him, or can protect him in that case, right? And he doesn't rely on any other force or any other anything. So too says Rabbi Chanan, a person that ignores someone that needs tzedakah, and he ignores his tzedakah obligations, he's doing so because he loves his money, he needs his money, and he thinks his money can help him, can protect him, and can save him. Therefore, says Rabbi Chanan, that's pshat in the Gemara, that it's ki'ilu oved avodah zarah. Very beautiful pshat. Rabbi said we should all be zoicha, that the Rabbeinu Shalom should give us the money to be able to give to tzedakah, to help people. We should always be on the giving end, not on the receiving end. And remember what we said all the way in the beginning, that we said that when a person is already makdish Maaser originally, before he even gets the money, before he even does the deal, the Rabbeinu Shalom will make sure that at the end of the day, he'll be able to have that profit, and he'll be able to do wonderful mitzvahs with that. Have an amazing, beautiful day.